You're listening to No Sucks Saturday on the AM Update.
Well, after a 1-week hiatus, we are back. I'm Aaron, joined as always by my beautiful Bella for No Sucks Saturday. It is good to be back. We're back with 5 stories we think objectively do not suck, as well as a study through Chapter 5, the last chapter in the first book of C.S. Lewis's work, Mere Christianity. We'll be talking about that in just a few minutes. Bella, how's it going?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, haven't seen you for a long time.
Yeah, just
long time no see.
Yeah, just we were putting kids to bed here not too long ago, so it's been a while. It's been a minute.
It's been a second, but we're
back.
It's
been a hot second since we've been back. It's just been about a week or so, but
yes, I was sick last week again.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody. I think I kind of avoided it.
Yeah.
Maybe it hit me in a different way, but story of our lives right now. Story of your life as you're listening to No Suck Saturday. We have 5 stories we think objectively do not suck. And we will begin, as always, with me, because I always bring 3 to the table. I always bring 3 stories that don't suck, and we're going to start with this. Now, this was more timely for our last segment, but I wanted to highlight it nonetheless, just in case you missed this. This was at the Oscars just a couple of weeks ago. This is Kieran Culkin's acceptance speech for an Oscar that he won, and it's pretty surprising to hear this out of Hollywood.
I love you, Jazz. This is, I have to thank my wife, Jazz, for absolutely everything, for giving me my favorite people in the world. Please don't play the music, because I want to tell a really quick story about Jazz. About a year ago, I was on a stage like this, and I very stupidly, publicly said that I want a 3rd kid from her, because she said if I won the award, she would give me the kid. It turns out she said that because she didn't think I was going to win. And people came up to her and were like, really annoying her. I think it got to her. But anyway, after the show, we're walking through a parking lot. She's holding the Emmy. We're trying to find our car. Emily, you were there, so you're a witness. And she goes, "Oh, God, I did say that. I guess I owe you a 3rd kid." And I turned to her and I said, "Really, I want 4. And she turned to me. I swear to God this happened. It was just over a year ago. She said, "I will give you 4 when you win an Oscar." I held my hand out. She shook it, and I have not brought it up once until just now. You remember that, honey? You do? Okay. Then I just have this to say to you, Jazz. Love of my life, ye of little faith. No pressure. I love you. I'm really sorry I did this again. And let's get cracking on those kids. What do you say?
It's just not often you hear Hollywood talking about family and babies in such a positive life. So I wanted to make sure that was highlighted. Kieran Culkin's acceptance speech for his first ever Oscar win. And that was kind of funny, but cool at the same time. So that is story number 1. Bella, what do you have?
I have a story out of North Carolina.
Yeah.
So, as we all know, they were recently impacted by that awful hurricane, Hurricane Helene, not that long ago. And so many residents were left with horrible damage to their homes and belongings and faced crippling medical bills. And so Verizon, the telecommunications company, teamed up with Forgive Co. And this is a company with a random acts of kindness model that purchases consumer debt. And they eliminated $10 million in consumer debt for 6,500 people from North Carolina.
Amazing.
Yeah. It was a really neat article because the recipients didn't need to apply. They didn't need to do anything special. They just got a letter in the mail that's basically like, you're going to be receiving these funds. And so some of the people used the money to pay for diabetes supplies they lost in the storm, medical bills, repair their homes, just really anything that they needed that was affected as a result. So just a really cool company.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'd never heard of them before, but apparently they've been around.
Forgive
Co. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically any organization can like partner up with them, and they just buy off the debt and give relief to people. So just
That's
a very
incredible.
practical way to give back to.
Yeah.
I really like that it's very, I feel like we kind of talk about giving certain supplies or but this is just a really specific way to, help these people.
Yeah.
So
and what was the dollar figure on that?
$10 million.
$10 million.
Yeah.
Man, that is a serious chunk of change.
Yeah. That helped over 6,000 people. So,
that's amazing.
cool.
Forgive Co.
Yeah.
Helmet sticker to those guys. Mm-hmm. That is really, really cool. Really cool story. I was looking for some good news stories out of North Carolina this week as well, so I'm glad you found one.
I found one.
I'm glad you found one.
Thank you.
Well, this one is Swiss man has his lucky stars and the Polish police to thank after they managed to foil a kidnapping plot against his 2 dogs. The story comes from the Polish town of Szczecin. It's Polish.
It's close enough.
Where a former municipal councilman from a suburb of Zurich fell into an elaborate theft and extortion campaign at the hands of a Polish man and a Norwegian. Seduced by the Norwegian, whose name for statement purposes has been released merely as K, 59-year-old Rolf Wugmuller instead had his 2 Belanca dogs stolen before facing a ransom demand of 1 million Swiss francs.
What?
Francs.
I'm enjoying your pronunciations. That's great.
So we've just to recap here. We've got a Polish town of Szczecin, a former municipal council member from the suburb of Zurich. That's pretty easy.
Yeah, that one's good.
Fell victim to an elaborate theft and extortion campaign at the hands of a Polish and a Norwegian dude who's seduced by the Norwegian, known as K.
Okay.
This guy's name is Rolf Wugmuller, a 59-year-old, and he has 2 Belankadonk dogs. I'm sorry.
Badonkadonk.
He has 2 Belanca dogs. Anyway, moving on. Wugmuller, this is a guy who had his dog stolen,
Yes,
told Swiss newspaper 20 Minutemen, quote, they knew... I'm not sure what's more amazing, the story, the way it's written, or or this guy actually getting his dogs back.
Oh,
Wugmuller told the Swiss newspaper 20 Minutemen, not Minutemen. That's an American thing. Quote, they knew that I had a very emotional bond with my dogs. If I'd had 1 million francs at home, I would have handed over the money immediately.
Frank is my favorite character from The Father of the Bride.
Oh, yeah.
He's the wedding planner, and then in the second one, he designs the baby shower.
It sounds like Miss France, Miss Universe. France. France. Eventually, the ransom was reduced to a quarter million francs.
How generous.
But Wugmuller demanded to see proof of his dogs. These are the Banankadonk dogs.
Badonkadonk proof.
He wanted to see proof of life. At first, they responded that proof would come in the mail in the form of the 2 animals' heads.
Oh my.
Badonkadonk heads.
They didn't send the behind.
But they eventually sent a picture of the 2 dogs in a wood near the Polish border. It was the photo that led the Polish police to the northwestern city of Szczecin, where the suspects were arrested and the dogs taken into police. These are the Badonkadonk dogs. Just so we're keeping the dogs straight here.
You get them mixed up.
I'm sorry, the Belankadonk dogs. They were taken into police custody and eventually into animal care. Well done, Polish police. Next story.
I had no idea where that story was going at any time, mostly because I kept getting tripped up on all the details.
We got 1 million francs for 2 Belankadonk dogs in the town of Szczecin.
Sounds like a Mad Libs.
Yes.
Oh, that was great. Okay. Anytime you see European stories like that, please include those.
Oh, it was 20 Minutemen, not Minutemen, the newspaper.
I mean, I've heard it both ways.
Yeah.
All right. My next one is about a little girl named Kinley who was born with a cleft lip. So for those of you who don't know, a cleft lip is a birth defect where there's an opening in the upper lip due to the tissues not fusing properly while they're in the womb. And so she's always felt different from other kids. And one day she asked her mom if she thought the dogs could have cleft lips too. So her mom began doing some research and found an organization called Cleft Rescue Unit, which seeks to unite dogs and humans who both have cleft lips.
There's an organization for everything. That's incredible.
For real, yeah. So Kinley and her family adopted Tenley, an adorable Boston Terrier, and this dog has had a huge impact on Kinley's life. Her mom and both Kinley said that it's made her feel less abnormal and just kind of nice having, a dog that looks similar to her, and, they've just become best friends. So this is a nationwide organization here in the States. So if you or someone has a cleft lip or palate and has an interest in having a dog with the same condition, you can find Cleft Rescue Unit on Facebook for more information.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing somebody had the exact same idea that little girl had. I wonder if they have cleft lips. Yep, sure enough, this would be a great idea to unite both the dogs and the humans. So that's really cool. All right, final story. This one is pretty incredible. This is from Atlanta News First. Beating the odds. I want to know what the odds of this is. Listen up.
Now, your top 7 at 7.
Let's get you caught up on the top 7 stories in Atlanta today, starting with a mystery now solved. A boy abducted from Atlanta 7 years ago has now been found in Colorado. Investigators say the now 14-year-old was taken by his non-custodial mother, who is now facing kidnapping charges.
So yeah, this missing Atlanta boy was found after 7 years in Colorado. He was found after deputies found the boy while investigating a burglary at a vacant house. A man and a woman had allegedly broken into the house, leaving 2 children in a car parked in the driveway. Authorities later confirmed one of those children was the missing boy. The sheriff's office said the woman arrested in the burglary is Khan's mother, as you just heard in the story there. She, as you also heard didn't have custody. But she was still the mother, so I'm sure that probably made the kidnapping a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Both the man, Elliot Blake Burgoy, and another woman, were arrested and charged. The children are both in child protective custody now.
Wow.
So, really want to know what the odds of that is. After 7 years, 7 years after a kidnapping, for a kid to still be alive. That is some good news. A harrowing story nonetheless, but some good news. When we come back, Chapter 5 of C.S. Lewis's book, Mere Christianity. We'll talk about that next.
This is No Suck Saturday. We'll be right back.
The moral law does not give us any grounds for thinking that God is good in the sense of being indulgent or soft or sympathetic. There's nothing indulgent about the moral law. It's as hard as nails. It tells you to do the straight thing, and it does not seem to care how painful or dangerous or difficult it is to do. Chapter 5 of the first book of C.S. Lewis's work, Mere Christianity. Chapter 5 is the last chapter of this miniature book. You're smart. What would books within books be called? Just books?
Books. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So this chapter 5 is the end of book 1 of C.S. Lewis's work, Mere Christianity, and we've got some questions. Let's start here. Lewis has made a case for a reasonable and intelligent religious worldview in a culture which dismissed Christianity as passé and outdated. In what 3 ways does Lewis seek to counter common objections of his readers to Christianity? Well, let's just look at one way, and if you want to add in another way that he describes as well, you're more than welcome to do that. One way he confronts this movement within the United Kingdom, within Britain, of just thinking that Christianity is outdated. And certainly, if you look over there now, C.S. Lewis did not win that fight. Maybe he prolonged the inevitable, but he did not win that fight. But one of the ways that he confronts this is by basically pointing people to the narrow road. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing that he does in the first or second paragraph of this chapter. He says, if you're on the wrong road, progress means doing an about turn and walking back to the right road. And in that case, the man who turns back soonest is the most progressive man. We have all seen this when doing arithmetic. When I've started out a sum the wrong way, the sooner I admit this and go back and start again, the faster I shall get on. There's nothing progressive about being pig-headed and refusing to admit a mistake. And I think if you look at the present state of the world, it's pretty plain that humanity has been making some big mistakes. We are on the wrong road. And if that is so, we must go back. Going back is the quickest way on. You know, this kind of reminds me of, it's a cliche, but every cliche, I like to say, has an element of truth to it. You know, I'm not so much looking to go left or right. I'm looking to go up. Well, in the practical sense down here in the horizontal world, that does have an element of truth. I don't really want to go left or right. I want to go straight ahead, because you can end up in ditches if you just keep going right and keep going right, or keep going left and keep going left on the road. Eventually, unless you've got like a million lane highway, eventually you're going to end up in a ditch. So that's one way he confronts this notion that Christianity is outdated. He basically says, you idiots, you've been making a bunch of mistakes anyway. Why don't you give this a second look? The most progressive thing you can do is admit when you have made mistakes and correct course. Of course, you can't really correct back to the true course without some foundational underpinning with worldview, and that's, of course, what C.S. Lewis is trying to get at there. But what about you? How would you answer that question?
Yeah, that was really, really well said. I think I really like his third point, which is that Christianity does not make sense until you've faced the sort of facts that he's been describing, and he's been laying out basically what you just described as well, which is that Christianity tells people to repent and promises them forgiveness. It therefore has nothing to say to people who do not know that they have done anything to repent of and who do not feel that they need any forgiveness. Basically, you have to realize that you're broken first. You have to realize that there's a moral law. You can't keep it up yourself. You can try. You can say, I'm going to be better tomorrow. I'm going to do the right thing. And every single time that sin nature is going to get you, and you need Christ. And that's what he's pointing to here, is we need Christ to bridge that gap, because we cannot do it ourselves. And until people are able to recognize that there is a moral law that exists, they're not going to be able to accept Christianity, because they're thinking, I don't need it. There is no right or wrong. I can just do what I want. But if we have the sense of this is right, this is wrong, I'm really bad at doing the right thing, I need Christ.
C.S. Lewis, wrapping this segment up, he says, all I am doing is to ask people to face the facts, to understand the questions with which Christianity claims to answer, and they are very terrifying facts. I wish it was possible to say something more agreeable, but I must say what I think is true. Of course, I quite agree that the Christian religion is, in the long run, a thing of unspeakable comfort, but does not begin in comfort. It begins in the dismay, what you were just talking about. It begins in the dismay I have been describing. And it is no use at all trying to go on to that comfort, without first going through that dismay. In religion, as in war and everything else, comfort is the one thing you cannot get by looking for. If you look for truth, you may find comfort in the end. If you look for comfort, you will not get either comfort or truth. Only soft soap and wishful thinking to begin with, and in the end, despair. Most of us have got over the pre-war wishful thinking about international politics. It's time we did the same with religion. The Brits didn't listen to him. When we come back, this was supposed to be No Suck Saturday. It was really sucky. But it's so profound.
It is.
When you look back, if you just look at it objectively,
right,
give him another if they gave him an actual chance, they listened to their prophets in time of war to give them comfort. And in times of peace, when he spoke discomfort to them, they ignored him. Anyway, let's get back to the no-suckings part. When we come back, we'll have our highlight of the week and question of the week next. All right, back for one final segment on No Suck Saturday. I'm Aaron. She is Bella. Thanks for tagging along with us this morning on No Suck Saturday. It's time for our highlight of the week. I was just regaling you. I've got my main computer that I use is an old Mac Mini. And so I don't really use my MacBook Pro anymore. Oh, by the way, I need to share this with the audience. Some trivia.
Yeah.
Did you know that when a lithium-ion battery completely, and I mean completely, discharges, it actually expands? I found this out the hard way.
So fun.
Somebody unplugged the charging cable to my MacBook Pro, and I don't use it much, and it had been months since I'd used it, and the battery had expanded to the point I couldn't use the trackpad anymore. And then I charged it, and I could use the trackpad again. It decompanded.
Decompanded.
It's a word that I just made up. De-expanded?
De-expanded.
That works.
Shrink?
Shrink. It shrunk.
Shrunk. Shrink, shrunk.
Yes. So that's a little bit of trivia. But anyway, I found a use for it now that it's March Madness time. I can watch basketball or other programming on my laptop because I bought a new monitor for my main computer last year, and it's so big I can't see the main computer the main television in the downstairs area. So that's my best or highlight of the week.
I think that's a great highlight. Very, very timely with everything starting up soon.
Exactly.
Gotta have multiple monitors.
I can't be bothered to lean over to the left to see the TV. I just can't be bothered to do that.
It's going to hurt your back. So this is really about
ergonomics.
It will hurt
my back.
Yes. We are taking care of your spine.
Yes.
That's what this is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's your highlight of the week?
Well, mine is also about screens indirectly. So I should preface this by saying we don't do a ton of screen time with Ben, but occasionally I'll put on like an old Disney movie or something just so I can get some cleaning done or work on some tasks without him coming in and asking 1,000 questions.
Yes.
So not doing this all day long, but just a little bit here and there. And so, like I said, we do some old Disney movies, and he went through a huge Aristocats phase there for a while. So, I mean, I think we were hearing Everybody Wants to Be a Cat in our sleep.
Yeah.
And now it's been Peter Pan, which is very cute. But what's been really fun about it is because the weather has been nice, we've been playing outside quite a bit, and it's just kind of fun to see his little imagination starting to take shape.
No.
Because his new favorite game is to take his little like balance bike thing and go to the top of the hill at the edge of our cul-de-sac, and he wants to ride as fast as he can down the sidewalk and turn into the turn, and then if he gets going too fast he'll put his feet down. But it's just so cute watching him fly down with his feet up in the air, just like flying down this hill, and if you ask him what he's doing, he'll tell you he's flying to Neverland. It's just so cute, and and he'll just tell me that like he's going to go see Peter Pan and go see Captain Hook and Mr. Smee, and he just thinks it's so funny. And so, I don't know. It's just cute to see that little personality come out and see that imagination develop, just because I had a really active imagination as a kid. So it's just kind of fun to see that side of him kind of develop.
Yeah, no kidding. That's really cool. Oh, he is going through some 3-year-old phases where the highs are high, the lows are pretty low.
Yeah, honestly, everyone warned me about the terrible twos.
Yeah,
they were not that bad.
Yeah,
it's the threes.
Yeah,
it's just this like developing that sense of independence, but they still need you so desperately, and they don't want to admit that they need you so desperately. And so they just fight you on everything. So
all right, what is our question of the week? Am I forgetting anything here? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think we're down to our question of the week.
Yeah, we're getting a little loopy, so that's how I know we're at the end. Our question of the week is, what were you like in elementary school?
I don't remember.
Oh my gosh, you're not that old.
Okay, what is elementary school?
Before junior high?
Okay, what are the grades?
So basically like kindergarten through 6th grade. What were you like as a little kid?
What was I like as a little kid?
Yeah.
Oh, shy. I mean, I had my friend group, I wasn't shy with them. I don't know. I used to be smart. That's when I skipped a grade. Yeah. So, smart and shy.
Smart and shy. Musical.
Yes, I did play some musical.
Yep. You did your weather reports.
And oh, yes, that's right. You're helping me jog all my memory. Yeah, when I was 8, I wanted to be a meteorologist. We've been through this before.
Yeah, I think you shared that story before, but I think that's important.
Yeah.
It's an important part of you.
So, I think I was nice.
Yeah.
I mean, me and all my friends played Army, and I made myself the commander, and I gave all my friends demerits if they pissed me off.
You were just the youngest child syndrome trying to get your revenge, probably.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. Fortunately, they didn't, get rid of me as a friend.
I was going to say, they still talk to you. Yeah. I think that's nice.
Yeah. Still do. Some of them. Most of them. Actually, yeah, most of the people from that friend group back in... Yeah. What is this, elementary school? Time. I still talk to them, so that's cool. So that's kind of what I was. That's what I was like. Very cute. What about you? What was you like? What was I? I was also kind of shy, definitely very quiet. But when I was around my friends, I was more outgoing. Honestly, my biggest hobbies were playing with my American Girl dolls. I had Molly McIntyre. Ironic.
Yes, very. My sister and I used to play a lot of pretend games with our American Girl dolls. Actually, that reminds me. The next time I go to my parents' house, I need to double check. I'm pretty sure my mom sent the dolls to the American Girl doll hospital to get them taken care of because they were in bad shape.
Really?
After we were done playing. Because I didn't know she was going to save them if we had daughters.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's really cool.
I need to ask her about that, but I'm pretty sure.
Have you ever told my mom or my sister that you had Molly McIntyre?
Yes, I know I for sure told your sister.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, because she was my favorite. She was the World War II doll. That was
That's
her era,
right.
1940s.
I think my sister had
Samantha
or Sophia.
There's no Sophia. Samantha was the Victorian era.
Ah, okay. I knew it was an S.
Yeah, you were right. Yep, she had that. And my sister had Josefina.
Josefina, that's who she had.
Okay, she had Josefina.
Yes.
Yes, I think she was Mexican. She had earrings. That was the whole reason my sister wanted her, because she had the hoop earrings.
How ironic is that?
So
that your
crazy.
sister had the same one that my sister had.
I mean, these are some of the most popular ones.
You had the one whose last name was McIntyre. What are the odds of that?
Pretty crazy.
Pretty good.
Honestly, American Girl dolls were everything back in the 2000s.
Yeah.
They were so fun. Sorry, all the men listening are probably bored, but all the women that are listening are probably nodding in agreement because these dolls were so fun. I had the Bitty Baby twins. Those were great.
The Bitty Bitty Babies?
Yeah, they were like little baby twins, and I got their baby stroller for Christmas one year.
Wow.
It was a double stroller. It was very exciting, and I convinced my mom to let me take it with us to the mall one time, and by the end of it, my back hurt from pushing it, and so she said we could never do that again. So I was not a very good mother at 8 years old.
Your back hurt?
My back hurt. And that's why I care so much about your back in the screen, because I'm remembering the trauma of my doll's
circle.
Exactly.
We're
Look at me.
Full circle.
Bringing it home.
Bringing it home. Coming full circle.
Yeah.
On No Suck Saturday. Thanks for hanging out with us again this morning. We'll be back tomorrow for the weekend review, but fresh content, original content on Monday morning on the AM Update. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
Thanks for listening to No Suck Saturday.